The English countryside. John Clare from Helpstone near Peterborough was born more than 200 years ago.
But he is being rediscovered by a new generation, which is why one of our best-known poets today, Benjamin Zephaniah, came to Helpstone to celebrate the past.
Hail, humble Helpstone, where thy valleys spread and thy mean village lifts its lowly head. Unknown to grandeur and unknown to fame, no minstrel boasting to advance thy name.
Perhaps more than any other English poet, John Clare championed the countryside with which he had a deep bond. A farm labourer, he railed against the enclosure of common land in the early 19th century. Today, at the cottage in Helpstone, where he was born on this day in 1793, a new life-size statue of him was unveiled. And after months of renovation work, the building was opened to the first visitors.
Well, the fields were his study, really, and he was an agricultural labourer first and foremost. He would be walking the fields, he would be investigating the habits of birds and animals and finding new species of plant in the local area. So he had a scientific interest, if you like, in everything he found in the nature around him.
Since Thursday, supporters have been retracing Clare's footsteps and commemorating the walk he undertook from an asylum in Epping Forest back to his home village. They were welcomed at the cottage by pupils from the John Clare Primary School. Across the generations, people are discovering his poems.
For a lot of my life, I felt sometimes that they didn't, and I couldn't relate to them, and they didn't relate to me. But actually, a great poet, the stuff they write about is still relevant today, and John Clare is a great example of that. Now, issues about the land are as important as they have ever been, you know.
The John Clare cottage will open to the public tomorrow. One of its primary aims is to get school children through its doors so they can understand more about not just the man, but the countryside and why it had such an effect on him.
Oh, where can friendship's cheering smiles abode to guide young wanderers on a doubtful road?
Paul Seagrove, BBC Look East, Helpstone.
Now, if you love cricket, you'll know the answer to this. Where were you when Monty saved the day? It was one of those great moments in sport.
With the Australians poised for victory, Monty Panesar came out to bat with tail-ender James Anderson. 9 wickets down, 69 balls to face, and a test match to save. Most people thought it couldn't be done, but most people were wrong.
Said England were looking for a hero. It's these two at the very end. Anderson and Panesar, 10-11. Trapped.
The star batsman had failed, so it was left to Monty Panesar and James Anderson to see England home to safety. And as tension mounted, the unlikely duo hung on for 40 minutes to thwart the Aussies and secure a draw. Around the country, sighs of relief. But here in Northamptonshire, Monty's county coach was less surprised than most.
As far as Monty and in particular James Anderson, they showed great resolve, great character to better stand out there and in that kind of pressurised situation to show the calmness. And actually, I mean, they played really well. They're supposed to be numbered 10 and 11, and the other guys have left them to do the job. And my goodness, they did do it particularly well.
I'm sure they can. I say unlikely heroes. These two, I wouldn't have given threepence.
Nobody in this land would have expected Monty to go and do what he did. A lot of people here knew he was capable of defending and playing with good technique. Some might have questioned his mental fragility, but you know what? He really dug it out, didn't he? You could see it in his staring eyes. He was absolutely just desperate not to get out, and he did us proud.
And here on his old stomping ground in Luton, an appreciation of the Turbinator's newfound batting skills.
I think he's done quite well towards the end to keep us in there, but yeah, good stuff.
Monty Panesar is very good well in the spin, and last 11 hours is very good batting and good batting.
I think that's the best he's played for a long time, to be fair. Yeah, he's done really well.
It's never easy being an England fan, but this team's Herculean effort has brought new hope for this Ashes series. And with this new spell of Monty magic, the Barmy Army might just have to find new songs to sing. Joe Black, BBC Look East.
Great.
Different kind of sport.